So today's lesson is about making banners or flags. And I'm going to show you a few simple steps that you can take by making shapes and then adding lines to make dimension. Um, you can see here, I used some basic rectangles, turned them into almost like arrows, strung them on a pretend string so it's like a banner. The other one is a reminder to practice, practice, practice. And that's what we're going to do. So today we are going to work on some basic designs, and then we are going to have a bigger project in which you are going to make your own banner or flag. All right, so let's get started. Okay, now it's time to do some practice drawing. We are going to take some basic shapes and then add a few lines and create simple banners. And the first thing you need is some paper. So get some regular ruled paper, regular writing paper. Spiral or loose leaf is fine. And then you're going to need a pencil or a pen or a marker. And the ruler, I'm going to use for the first few demonstrations, but then I'm going to set the ruler aside. If you want to be exact in measuring and drawing things to be actually precise, that's great. I am going to draw freehand for most of this demonstration. But to start, I would like you to use a ruler, if you have it handy, and draw 1 inch along that top blue line of your lined paper. So draw 1 inch. And then 2 lines down, I would like you to draw another inch line, okay? So we have parallel lines. And then I'd like you to, on the left side, connect those 2 lines with a vertical line. Hope you can see this. Okay, so we've got top line, a bottom line, and then they're connected on the left. Approximately 1/4 inch in, 1/4 inch in, I'd like you to draw a light dot on that blue line in the middle. And then we are going to connect the bottom line to that dot and the top line to that dot. All right, there's our first small banner. Let's make another one, 2 inches this time. So again, 2 inches across the top, and then 2 inches on the line that's 2 lines below. Connect those lines on the left-hand side with a vertical line. And then 1/4 inch or so, maybe 1/3 of an inch in, draw a dot on that center line, connect the dot to the top line, connect the dot, and I say to the top, to the bottom, to the top line. How about a vertical arrow like the ones I showed in the example that said love? All right, let's go 1 inch and a half. Inch and a half. Inch and a half. So this time, instead of connecting on the left, we're going to connect on the top. And then in the middle, about a 1/2 inch in, 1/4 inch in, we are going to draw a dot and then connect the corners to that dot. Great. Okay, so now you've got 3 different examples of simple banners. Let's draw an arrow. Okay, how about 2 inches? Again, we're going to draw 2 parallel lines, connect them on the left. And this time, instead of drawing our dot about a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch in, we're going to go to the right. Make your little dot to the right. And then connect the dot to the edge of the top line, connect the dot to the edge of the bottom line. There we go. Now we have an arrow pointing right. Let's draw an arrow up and down. Again, 2 parallel lines. These are vertical lines. Connect them at the top. Draw a dot in the middle, just a little bit below those lines. Connect them with a ruler. Okay. Couple arrows. Let's try an arch. We're going to stick with the parallel line idea. So go straight down and then curve and then cross. Straight down and curve and across. Again, step the dot in a little bit, maybe ½ inch, ¼ inch. Connect the top to the dot, connect the dot to the bottom line. On the right, do the same thing. Let's try just a regular arch. And these again, hopefully, are going to be parallel lines. Okay. Part way in, draw a dot, connect the top line to the dot, and then the dot to the bottom line. On the right, do the same thing, draw a dot, connect the top line to the dot, and then dot to the bottom line. If you want to get out your ruler, the next one is going to have a rectangle as its base, so use your ruler if you want, or draw freehand. So draw 2 parallel lines, and then draw the vertical lines on each side. Okay. There's our initial rectangle. Draw a line on the left-hand side. That's approximately 3/4 of an inch, maybe, assuming this is about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. Draw a similar sized line to the right. So again, we're still using the ruled paper. We're using those blue lines to help guide us. Now, 2 lines below the line on the left, we're going to draw another line. But instead of stopping right at the edge of that first rectangle, we are going to go in another ½ inch. Do the same thing on the right. Instead of stopping right at the edge of that rectangle, you're going to go in a little ways. So what I'd like you to do now is connect the initial rectangle with the lower line using a vertical line. Okay, so now we have our initial rectangle and then lines coming on either side of it, and then lines underneath connected by a vertical line. Okay, see those? Okay. Do what we did before, put a dot in between, connect the top and the bottom, a dot in between, connect the top and the bottom. So you can see how this would be the top or the front, and then these pieces are behind. Well, how do they become connected? Let's draw a line from the bottom corner of that rectangle to this corner, bottom corner to that corner. Now we have something that appears to be a fold. So here's the back of a piece of paper or a ribbon perhaps. Here it folds, goes up, and comes back up top. Folds, folds. See that? Do, 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 do. Let's draw a small one. So here is a square. Let's draw a square this time. And again, we're going to draw similar size lines on each side. And then the lines underneath are going to be a little bit longer. Connect with a vertical line. Draw a dot to connect the top to the dot to the bottom. A dot, top to the middle to the bottom. And then connect those corners with a line. Okay? Again, it goes straight, fold straight, and then fold back, and then straight. Do, 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 do. Okay. Let's try some curves. This time, I'd like you to keep the lines parallel, if you can. So I have 2 arches that are parallel, and I'm going to connect them with the vertical lines on each side. So instead of a rectangle, I have an arch. We're going to use the same theory as we used for this one, but instead of all those lines being straight, these lines are going to be curved. So make a curved line coming out from the center of each of the sides. And then again, instead of having the bottom line for the back section stopping at that same edge, we're going to go maybe a ½ inch or so underneath. Okay. To make this all work, we're going to draw the vertical lines from that bottom curve to the bottom edge of the initial arch. Draw the dot, connect the top line to the bottom line on the left, do it again on the right, draw the dot, connect, and then to make this all one unit, you're going to connect the corners. So we have the back piece goes here, folds, folds again, folds out to the front, folds under, and then folds under again. Do, 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 do. How about going the other direction? So curve, curve, connect those lines. This time I'm going to have the extended part of the banner go above. So the longer of the 2 lines that are going to appear in the background, the longer line is now on top. See that? This line is longer than this line. This line is longer than this line. And instead of what we did before where we drew the lines vertically below to connect, we are going to draw them from the top down to the top line. Okay? Draw the dot in the center, connect the points to the dot, top to bottom. And again, we connect the corners. Connect the corners. So the banner now goes this way. Do, 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 do. Okay. All right, what if we draw a curve that makes it kind of like a step? Again, we're going to try to be parallel. Connect the top and the bottom with a straight line on each edge. Draw a line in the center of each of those edges, one on the left, one on the right, approximately the same length. The lower line is now going to be a little bit longer. Add your vertical lines. Draw a dot to make the point. Draw the dot in the center to connect the top and the bottom for that point. And then connect the corners. Okay. There's a lot of good examples there. One more design I want you to think about is just like a more simple fold. We'll just do this one quickly. I'd like you to draw a a sideways banner, like we started, one of the first ones we did. All right, so there's your sideways banner. Let's just pretend it's just folded in half. So we're going to draw the line in the center, extending to the left, and then underneath it, make it a little bit longer. Connect that lower line with the bottom edge of the initial banner. Draw your dot, connect the top to the dot, and the dot to the bottom, and then connect the corners. So that's like a simple fold. That's almost like we've just folded a piece of paper. You know, it has two fold sections, but that's what we've got. So kind of a simple fold. I also want to show you if you wanted to have something hanging, like you wanted to have something hanging over the edge of a shelf, or, you know, over a piece of string. Draw that vertical banner like we did in the beginning. You draw the outside edges, connect the two lines with the top, put the dot in the center, connect the dot to the edges. So there's our hanging banner. And then if we wanted to make it look like it's coming off the shelf, draw a line. It's like making a little triangle there. So it looks like you could put a string through there or a pencil or something and then have that banner hanging. All right, let's have one that kind of folds back and forth. And this will be the last one for this section. And then I'm going to have you take some time and practice. All right, draw 2 inches. 2 inches. Draw the vertical line on the right. Draw the dot on the left. Connect top to dot, dot to bottom. Draw another design just like that in reverse underneath. Okay, so this and this are approximately the same but flipped. If we wanted to connect those, we would find a spot maybe, again, maybe 1/3 of an inch in. Connect the corner of the bottom one to that dot that's 1/3 of an inch from the right. And then we've gone 1/3 of an inch to the right on that bottom section and connect that to the lower corner of the other one. So we have a banner that goes across and then twists and then goes back. Now you have a few different examples, and I'd like you to take a few minutes and just quickly draw another series of 10 more designs. So draw a couple simple ones and then a couple with folds and see what you come up with. All right, so shut off the video and do a little practicing. Great. I'm sure you have a couple favorites that you've done now. What I'd like to do is show you how you can add a little shading to give that extra dimension. So I'd like to start again with a basic rectangle. So draw a line approximately 2 inches. Draw a parallel line, approximately 2 inches. Connect, connect. So we now have our rectangle. We are going to now draw a section that's going to go above it. So remember, if it's above, it's going to extend a little bit to the right of that edge. And draw the other line touching the left edge. Draw your vertical line. We're going to do our V that points to the right. All right, so can you all see that? Okay. And remember, that would be connected by drawing a line between those two corners. Okay, so we got that. And then this one. Okay, there's step 1. Actually, step 1, step 2. Now, Let's continue unfolding this banner. Draw a line to the right. Draw another parallel line below it. Connect it vertically. And then this time, instead of doing our point and arrow, I would like you to draw a vertical line connecting that. So now we have our original rectangle. Then we have the flap that goes to the left. Now we have another section we're going to connect by drawing a line connecting the corner to that back corner. So here's one piece, a fold, second piece, a fold, third piece, and then let's draw a section on the very right for another fold. And go through the same steps. Draw a line from the center of that vertical line on the right. Draw a line that's longer that goes underneath that rectangle. Connect it with a vertical line. Draw a dot. Connect the points, top and bottom to that dot. And then connect these corners. Now what we'll do is shade those triangles that we've created by our folds. Okay? Now we have shaded those so they appear to be behind. If you wanted to do further shading and give it more dimension, this is what we'll do. I'm going to quickly redraw that just as a sample. And you can be drawing along with me if you want, or again, I'm going to have you stop at the end of this video. And you're going to do some more practicing. Okay, shading this in, shading this in, shading this in. But there might be a little bit more shadow. Maybe the light is coming from this. Oh, look at that, like my hand shadow. The light's coming from this direction. So we are going to add some more lines. And this one, the shadow is going to go this way. Now we have extra dimension. All right, so we have a little bit extra shading so that that banner appears to be definitely folded. Toot, toot, toot. Let's practice with a simple one again for the shading. So we have two rectangles that are the same, one's on top of the other. Draw the line. Let's put a little bit of shading here. And then a little bit of shading here. And then a lot of shading under here. All right, see how it has a little extra dimension now because of that shading? Let's go with an arched banner. Again, try to keep these lines parallel, but it's, you know, practice and freehand, so however you want to do it. Draw two slightly curved lines, a little bit of an S. Connect those two lines with vertical lines on the left and the right. And then draw a slightly curved line. And then another one that's a little bit longer. Do the same on the other side. And this one's going to go above, so it's a little bit longer on the top. And then connect it vertically. Connect it vertically. Put a dot in the center to draw your reversed arrow top line to the dot in the center, dot to the bottom line, and the same on the right. Put the dot, connect the top corner to the dot, and then the dot to the bottom. Then don't forget to add those lines that connect the corners, and then give it some shading. You can make it dark. You could make your lines accentuated with other vertical lines. Here's another trick to help make a curvy line look curved. You can draw little dots as if maybe you were hand sewing this, like little stitches. Or even like dots, lines like on the side of the road or in the middle of the road. So adding a few extra details can help your eye follow that line and follow that curve. And in this case, it starts here, and it folds and folds again and curves around and folds back and then folds out. And one more, I'm going to show you about putting letters on. So let's make another curved line. And then similar, parallel, connected. A little bit longer on the bottom, connect, dot, connect top to dot, dot to bottom, connect the corners. I'm going to do this one on the bottom. Connect corners. This side is a little bit wider than this side. And as you know from lessons in perspective, if you have something bigger, it generally appears to be closer to you. So in this case, my banner is appearing to get smaller as it moves to the right. But we still need to color in or shade in those folds and make them appear that they're going to the back. If you wanted to add a little bit more shadow here, you could do that as well. And then what if I wanted to write a word? Now you want to keep your letters the same sort of shape, the same sort of distance as those parallel lines. So if you wanted to write thanks, you'd space it out so that it appears to be moving up and over. All right, so now what I'd like you to do is take a few minutes. You're going to pause the video and you are going to go ahead and draw these practice banners, but add dimension to them. I want you to add some shading to them. I haven't talked about color because that's an option that I would like you to use if you have colored pencils handy or markers handy. Just remember, if you're using markers, it bleeds through the paper, so just be prepared. You can add color if you'd like, so your banner could be maybe light blue here and then dark blue for the shadows. You know how we've talked about the value of colors, where you can add a darkness to make something appear to go in the background. So there's a lot of potentials that you can have either with pencil, shading. You could use lines. Like if you were using a marker, you could do lines close together or further apart to make those shadows, or with color. All right. So go ahead do some practicing, make some banners, and in one of those banners, I would like you to write a word or to write your name. So put something across here. Okay? Go ahead. Make some banners.